Hi guys, I'm Lady LorReign, and I want to thank you for everything. If you want to touch base with me, you want to reach out, I can definitely talk with you on my OnlyFans, and I have loyal fans, which we can discuss things on. Snapchat, Sex Panther. There are plenty of ways that we could definitely get to know each other better via video. And let's see, I'm trying to think. I am on FetLife. I have to peek. So there's a lot of different things out there that we could definitely touch base on. I am open to any questions. If it's something I don't want to talk about, then I'll let you know. I'm pretty honest and transparent about everything. So, but you can find all of my links on my link tree, and that is Lady LorReign 0101 on Linktree.
Let's start with the Wifey program project. How did that come up? Is that something you were surprised? Were you shocked?
Yeah, I mean, it was a big surprise, honestly. Vixen contacted my husband and I last October, and they said, "Is this something that you'd be interested in?" And it was pretty fun because initially they're like, both of you would be on camera, and my husband's like, "Oh no, I am not. I'm not this adult material for sure." So when they explained that he would be involved in its interview process and that kind of thing, and then he would just be there to watch the scene being shot, he was all for it. So, and I was too, because that's really what we enjoy. I don't want to say performing for him, but it's fun to be with another person and he's there. So a few months after that, we got in touch again with Vixen got in touch with us again, and we agreed to do it. We went out to LA, and I mean, it was just an amazing experience. So it was one of, in the beginning, of my first mainstream shoots.
Had you watched Vixen material before that?
I had, yes, I was a huge fan of Vixen. One thing I had learned about them, though, after the Wifey experience is that they had so many different brands. I was only familiar with a couple of the brands, so it really expanded everything. I was able to see all kinds of fun things, and yeah,
Do you want to work with the other brands, or is there a specific one you want to work with?
I would love to work for all of the brands if I could. Um, I mean, we have things in the works and things that are coming, and I don't want to get too much out. So
Say no
just I'm
more.
excited for what's coming. And so
You
I think
included.
folks will be
But
pretty surprised.
uh, who
Yeah.
did you work with in the Wifey scene?
I was with Jack Slater, and he was a great male talent. He was great to work with.
Were you familiar with him before you did the scene? Was that
Yes, I was familiar with him as an adult performer, but I hadn't met him until that day, so that was exciting.
and is there a lot of time before you shoot the scene? Do you guys maybe meet a half an hour before, an hour and chat, or is there any like thing like that before you shoot?
Yeah. It's pretty interesting, especially the wifey scene is quite different than any other mainstream shoot that I've done. And so they did give us plenty of time to interact with one another. My husband was able to meet him. We all sat and we talked. We did some promo photos and that kind of thing. And it was just nice to touch base with him before. And then afterward, we were able to talk a little bit, and we had kept in touch. So that was very nice.
You do the intro and stuff. After that, do they just have you shoot one scene? Do they go right through it? Or do you guys stop and take breaks and
Yes.
you
I believe with that scene, we may have taken a quick break, restroom break for me or whatever, but literally you go in, it's hair, makeup, you get ready, and that's for me. You do some other filming prior to. Obviously, it isn't the hardcore aspect, but yeah, you'll do a little bit of filming, and then you sit down and you do the interview with your partner, which is amazing. And from there, it's a lunch break, and then you move into the actual adult scene itself. And it really was straight through. So it was not, it was amazing. It was not scripted. It was 100% organic. And I mean, they just let it flow. And if there's a time that I'm like, hey, I need to use the restroom, that's the only time that we stop. So it
And you mentioned your husband,
was just a very nice, fluid thing. Hmm.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. You mentioned your husband didn't
So,
like being on. Was he surprised how easy the interview and stuff was when you did it? Was that what he expected, what he didn't expect?
I think for him, it was interesting because he had never done an interview or anything like that. He had never been filmed before. So I think initially it was a challenge for him. It was just not a comfortable thing. He wasn't familiar with it. But once he started talking and actually talking about our lives and actually was real for us, it was so easy for him to get through that part of it. So, and he loved it. I mean, you talk to him now and he loved every part of it.
And was that the first time he was on set when you were shooting a scene? Or does he film your
Yes.
scenes or anything?
So for many years in our personal life, he would film just for us, and that was it. It was just for his personal enjoyment, our personal enjoyment, you know. And now that we're doing content creation, he is great about doing the filming, the dynamic camera aspect, and that kind of thing. That was the first time he had ever been on set for a pro shoot with me. Before I would just tell him about what had happened, and but it was great for him to actually have that experience firsthand.
And how long were you guys dating before the aspect of, hey, honey, would you mind if I filmed us? Did that freak you out like the first time he asked? Was that something you thought was cool?
Oh dear. So we have been in the lifestyle for a little over 15 years. So I think it was just kind of a mutual thing. It was something fun that happened at the time that we were
Right.
we were involved in it, you know, and it certainly wasn't weird for me. I don't know if I would be considered an exhibitionist, but I definitely enjoy people watching me. I have for many years, so it wasn't uncomfortable. And then that is an interesting thing because moving into the adult realm, it has been completely natural for me. I'm not shy about anything. I'm not concerned about anything. And I'm very fortunate because every production company that I have worked with, they are so professional. They make you feel comfortable. I've had a great experience with that. So,
And then, so none of the stuff you guys shot has been released yet, right? The private stuff you guys shot, or is that on your
oh no,
OnlyFans?
no, the private stuff we would never release. That was just again for personal reasons. Now for content creation, as long as we have our release forms, everything is legitimate, and all parties are consensual, and it's
Right.
good, then we'll collab and we'll release the content. But nothing personal will ever be released.
And your story, I know a little bit about it. You were
Hmm.
a, sheriff, 22 years, 21 year?
Yes, I was a deputy for 21
I'm
years.
sorry.
That's
There,
okay.
there was a storm or something tragic that happened?
Yes, yeah. So yeah, and I um we had major financial difficulties for sure. It took a year. I had foreclosure notices, and ultimately, I mean, after getting second jobs and third jobs and selling everything, we were not able to financially meet our obligations after the rising interest rates and everything else, and ended up with a foreclosure. So I needed money quickly, and I wanted to keep it legitimate and legal. It was very important to me, and I found a means for doing so.
I
Oh,
admire you. That takes a lot of guts.
well, thank you. No, it was not easy.
No, but that process, when you did it the first time, did it surprise you how easy it was to do?
Um, Thinking about it, obviously I was a little nervous and I didn't want to do something wrong. And there are certainly things in the adult realm that are completely different than on a personal level that I
Right.
wasn't aware of. But fortunately, my first filming was with HMF, and that has to be one of the most um, I don't know the I don't want to say catering. It's the most informative and guiding production places I have worked before because they really do help you through that process. They know that you're probably pretty unfamiliar with everything. So it was easy for me. I mean, again, having the question of whether or not I'm doing it right or should I, and they're just like, just be you. And that's what I did. And it worked out. It was great. It wasn't hard for me.
Were they aware of your situation?
No, there wasn't anyone who was aware of my situation. No one knew what I did professionally in my personal life, and nobody in my personal life knew that I had taken the steps to do a production like that either. My husband and I were the only ones who knew. So,
And then were you surprised when it blew up and became what it became?
oh yes, yes, yeah. I mean, everything at this point, I could tell you since January, I've not had a bad day at work. It's been such a change of pace for me. So.
You mentioned you started your OnlyFans, or tell me about your OnlyFans.
Yeah, so I started OnlyFans, I think it was the end of December last year. So I really only worked on it for about 6 or 7 months now. Um, it started out pretty big and then it has waned. And so I'm working hard to try and build um, that fan base back up and utilize it properly. So it's just, I'm so unfamiliar with all of it and the content creation. I'm still in that learning process right now with everything. But yes, my OnlyFans VIP is available. I'm actually running a deal now until August 1st. And so
And what is the handle? OnlyFans
it is
slash.
at Lady LorReign, and that's it, all lowercase. It's LadyLorReign.
And do you do custom work?
I do. Yeah, I will take custom requests. Um, it just, I mean, I'm pretty open to everything. I do have hard limits, but if they request something that would exceed those limits, I just let them know and we find another means for getting their custom completed.
And at this point, is this a career for you or a job?
Right now, it's going to become my career. I want a long-term kind of thing with this. It's been eye-opening. There are so many different facets to the industry. Oh my gosh, it goes from all the way from glamour all the way to hardcore adult. It's just there's so much. I think for me, I aspire to get to a point where I can kind of mentor others or incoming individuals. So when I recognize someone who is in the position that I'm in now, they're in that new realm and the unknown. I would like to be I would like to get to the point to where I'm comfortable enough to assist them with a process or something, just familiarize them and make sure they're safe and comfortable.
And before all of this, had you watched adult material?
Of course, yes, I had. Yeah, I was a fan of porn.
And the stuff you've done and the movies, I'm sorry, that sounded bad. For you, what is the reality of this business versus what people think it is?
Okay, I am so thankful that you asked that question because I still get questions about that every day. The reality of this business is that everyone that I have worked with, they are so professional. We all have a very common goal in mind. Um, I have a lot of family members who were concerned about my welfare in the industry. And they're like, we don't want you to turn to drugs and alcohol. And I think that's kind of a preconceived notion that for some reason in the adult industry, individuals are very involved in that kind of business. And I haven't experienced that at all. I mean, everyone is very body conscious, they're very health wise. This is how we are making our income. And we do tend to take care of ourselves. We want to ensure that we're looking good and that we stay healthy. And that is what I have experienced in the industry. Again, it isn't like a personal, intimate encounter when you are, when you're filming.
Right.
It is it's on a different level of technical, I think, but it's still fluid. Most generally, you're not going to be interrupted. Okay, stop, hold there. The producers and directors, they allow it to flow because that's what they're looking for is that natural flow, that natural movement, and just the fluid aspect of it all. But I think the preconceived notions are that it's just negative and it's bad, and I have not experienced that at all. Highly professional. Everyone's very healthy. So
And I don't like the term MILF. I just like beautiful women, but the MILF niche has always been very popular. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I didn't even know what MILF meant until October of last year. So I think what it is ooh, we have some thunder rumbling. Um, I think what it is that men in a wide range of ages, they kind of look towards um, a female authority figure potentially. I don't know how to answer that for sure because I never saw myself as a MILF, but I know now others see me that way. So it's interesting, but I think it is maybe the female authority figure for them. You know, younger gentlemen, they want someone with experience potentially. And then the older gentlemen, like my husband says, women just they get more beautiful as they get older. And I think when it comes to the mature category and the MILF category, that's kind of what the older gentlemen are looking for too, that maturity and life experience.
Has your perspective of sex changed now that you got in the business?
It hasn't at all. I still enjoy it very much. I enjoy every scene that I shoot. I mean, there's challenges to everything that you do every day, and I think that I've had a few challenges here and there shooting a scene, but my feelings or anything haven't changed about sex. I still enjoy it. I'm still having a great time.
And when you saw stuff before you got in the business, adult material, the thought ever
Mhm.
crossed your mind that I could do that?
No, nope. I never had a thought like that. It's to say, you know, on in a film and an actual production, I never considered that. I didn't mind filming for my husband and just personal aspect. But I don't think that I ever one time considered myself actually being in it. But I am so thankful that I am. It's been amazing.
And have you done any modeling or anything earlier in your life?
Oh dear, when I was in my early 20s, I did a lot of the promo type things. I did, you know, promo for Jaeger and Bud and that kind of thing to make extra income. But I had never actually been able to do any type of serious modeling until the last 6 months. It's been amazing. And it's really great because I've been able to do glamour type modeling for magazines and products and branding promos and that kind of thing. And obviously that's different than the adult realm, but then
Right.
modeling in the adult realm has helped me immensely. It's just amazing. Every single experience I have just makes me more comfortable and more excited to do it even more, experience more.
When you're 20s modeling, were you discovered? Is that something you pursued?
I was, yes, I was at the mall and a recruiter was like, hey, let me talk to you. And I was like, no, I've only heard bad things about situations like this. You're a stranger. But no, it really ended up working out. And I certainly didn't do it for very long. It was only probably a year that I did the promo. But you know, the late nights, I had always had a, a career. You know, I was busy working, and the late nights were really tough on me when I had to report to work early the next morning. So I stopped doing it. And honestly, the income wasn't enough to justify me being gone all night long. You know.
And growing up, when you were in grade school, did you have a favorite subject?
Reading and English, yes, that was my favorite.
At that point, did you know what you wanted to be when you grew up?
Yes, at that point, I wanted to do something to help children who had been abused. That was a huge thing for me, and this is clear back in elementary school. And I worked very hard to become a guardian ad litem for children. I got to high school, got into all of my legal classes, and then I realized that um, I need to move. I need to be moving around. I need to be involved. I need to be active. For me to sit in a courtroom all day, because I would do that. I would go and I would sit with my classes and that kind of thing in high school, and it was impossible for me to stay awake. So, and I need to be there, you know. So I tried to find another way that I could help children who had a hard life and a hard time, and becoming a deputy just kind of fell into my lap. I say that, but it did. It didn't. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I started as a civilian. It was a new position that they were creating, and that position was to assist the commission staff in the detention facility. So I started with the agency that way. And from there, I was just, the door opened for opportunities, truly. And I was able to go to the academy. I became a deputy, and I did everything that I could to try to help children that had special needs or who had been abused. And it was really a good outlet for me. And then my whole path changed, and I would have loved to have been a teacher as well. So I found a niche for myself in my subject matter in the, I want to say the industry, but with my agency,
Right.
and I became an instructor, and in 2008, and from 2008 until 2024, November of 24, I was a teacher. It was just on a different level. It was all adult education. So.
And in high school, were you a popular girl? Were you a loner? Were you a geek? Were you a nerd?
I was a total geek, total nerd, bookworm. I had I had maybe two friends, and I mean I had friends and acquaintances, but I didn't go out often. I had a little group of friends, I think, but I was super introverted. I was very shy. Um, I loved to have fun, but I didn't know how to. I didn't do
Right.
sleepovers. I didn't do all of that kind of thing. So just very shy.
Were you popular with the boys?
I don't even notice. I don't know. I didn't know if I don't know if I was or not. Of course, now I've had a lot of people reach out and they're like, "Oh, I was just so afraid to talk to you. You're too pretty." And I'm like, "What? Just talk to me." I still feel like that. So,
But you,
but I only had one boyfriend in high school.
but uh, you're a very pretty woman. Do you think you intimidate men?
Thank you. And I have been told that I do, that I intimidate men and women. And I have no intention of doing that. I'm definitely easily approachable. And I think once people get past that and they talk to me, then it's a little different. But I want to carry myself in a manner that shows that I do have confidence. I have self confidence. And I think that might lead to individuals being a little intimidated.
When you were modeling, or at that point in your life, at what point did you realize you had an impact on men?
I probably when I was probably mid 30s when I realized that.
Wow.
And yeah, and I mean, I've always kept myself up. I think it's important, your appearance obviously is a reflection upon you. So I kept myself up, but I didn't really think that there were a ton of people who were like, "Hey," and it was probably early 30s. Um, it's kind of a personal thing, but my husband and I actually started going out in our 30s and doing things. And that's when we were like, all of these folks, these gentlemen would come up to me in a club or whatever. That was the first time we'd ever been to the clubs. It was in our 30s or bars. And they would come up to me and they're like, "Hey, can I buy you a drink?" And I'm like, "Me? Okay." And so, that's when I really recognized that people looked at me, and it was surprising to me.
And with the amount of work you've done in adult business, has that improved your confidence? Has that made you more confident?
Well, I mean, I think so. It's humbling to me, I think, more or less, what has happened since I've been in the industry. I feel very fortunate. I really do. I've had a lot of support, which I mean, I can't even thank everyone enough for their support. But for me, I don't know if it's a huge confidence boost. It may be. I think for me, the confidence boost would be, I can succeed. I may face some challenges, but I plan on being me, and I want to succeed and I want to be happy, and I don't want to stay down and in a low. And so Yeah,
You
I
mentioned
see.
earlier that you were in the lifestyle. Were you in the lifestyle when you met your husband? Had your husband introduced you to the lifestyle?
No, so we certainly were not. We are both our second marriages, and we were in monogamous relationships prior to each other. But he and I, we were honestly best friends. We were partners for many years, and I mean, we knew every intimate detail about each other just because you spend that much time with another person, more than 40 hours a week, right? In the same location, same place for 12 years. And we had discussed a lot of things over time, and we both talked about our curiosities. And um, once we actually got together, we took the steps together to explore our curiosities together. So honestly, it was never anything that was introduced by one or the other for us. We really did it together, and we've explored every facet of what our curiosities were regarding sexuality and just everything with one another.
The Vixen shoot, was that one of the first times you'd had professional nudes of yourself done?
So with Vixen, that was actually it. The I'm trying to remember. I don't think that we even did a lot of nude shots. We had the one scene with them. Now with the other production companies that I worked with prior, we did do nude photos, and I was like, oh my gosh, that was something that I had not experienced before, and knowing that they were going to be out was it was kind of nerve-wracking to me, just knowing they were going to be put out for release. Actually doing them was fine. And I know it sounds kind of funny, but for me, the hardest things to do and be recorded on and that kind of thing are solo scenes. It's not anything that is super comfortable or easy for me. So when I had to do that initially, that's where I was like, oh, what do I do? I didn't know. Standing there and posing nude was not a problem. But actually taking action, I was like, I don't know what to do.
And when you film content for your OnlyFans and that stuff, do you shoot stuff you want to shoot or stuff you think will sell?
Oh gosh, I should think that I want to shoot. I am that person that I'm not ever going to do anything. Well, I can't say not ever, but I am not willing to do things that I'm not comfortable with, regardless of whether or not it'll sell. I started a traveling hot life series because that is super fun for me. It was my real life for over a decade. I would go on a business trip and I would find a fellow or an acquaintance or something, and we would end up hooking up, and my husband would either see the video or he would listen in or whatever. And so I started that. So the things that I prefer to film are close to reality or things that I would love to experience. So not because I've seen a lot of things that are trending and that would sell, and it's probably things that I'm not very interested in. Some of them.
And for you, what is a good scene? Is a good scene perfectly lit? Is a good scene passion? Is a good scene energy? Is it camera angles?
Mhm. So for me, a good scene is when it's very fluid. There is a bit of chemistry between the male talent and myself. I think my best scenes are like that, the ones where there was a bit of chemistry and we've had time to, just visit a little bit prior. For me, the mechanical ones, the ones that are just, I think you know what I mean by mechanical. It
Yes.
is just that physical movement and there's nothing else going on. There's not even like eye contact happening. Those are the scenes that I'm like, that probably could have been better. And I think those kinds of scenes I've had few and far between, fortunately. But I think there are different reasons for that. Why it became so mechanical, you know?
Does your fan base have a specific type of content they like? Like some people prefer the POV stuff. Some people actually would prefer
Mm-hmm.
you took the raw footage and just posted it. Some people like the whole glam thing. Do
Mm-hmm.
you find that with your fan base?
So I'm very fortunate. I have a wide variety. And I also have a lot of fetish and kink fans, which is very cool. So I enjoy my foot community. They're amazing. I have a lot of folks who love POV. They like the amateur look. Um, for customs or any type of video chats, everything is organic. Everything is amateur looking. I don't set up a bunch of lights and that kind of thing. We don't edit any of those videos. Because there really, I'm glad that you said that, but there really is a variety of what they would like to see.
To be successful on platforms like OnlyFans and everybody's fans at this point, do you think people come to see you more for your personality or to watch you get boned?
I think initially what brings them is the sex scene, right? They want to see if I can squirt because I'm a huge squirter and it just happens. It's not anything that I can, and well, I guess I now can make it happen intentionally, but when I am in the moment, it just happened. So there's that aspect. They want to come and see that. And then I start to talk with them and we'll go back and forth messaging and then I'll video with them. And I think that I've heard from folks that they do appreciate my personality, which is nice. So I just want to be very genuine with people. I'm not a huge actress when it comes to sex. It's just for me, it's fun and it's good and it feels good, and I want it to just be me when it happens. I'm not very theatrical, maybe. I know I tend to be quiet. I don't do a lot of talking, but that's just me. So
And sex aside, how much different are you than the person people see on camera? How much of this is an act?
nice. I am the same person. So, and that's what I love about having the ability to just, yeah, you're out there. I'm exactly the same person that you would see on camera. So, we're at home, everywhere else. So.
And have you been to the conventions like AVN in January or XBiz? Did you do any of those shows yet? I'm sorry.
I should have. My husband and I went to AVNs just to experience it. We didn't know what to expect in January. And again, that was a few weeks after everything had come out, and I didn't even, I mean, it was interesting, but it was a great experience. We have also I've been to the two Exxxoticas. We were in Chicago and I was in Miami. Xviz, which was amazing. I was able to do some wifey promos for Vixen there. That was great. Just huge networking opportunities. I will be attending the Exxxotica in New Jersey in October. And I don't think I can make it to FetCon this time, but I have been a little under the weather, and I want to make sure that I'm super healthy anytime I go anywhere because I certainly don't want to spread
No.
anything to anyone. So,
When you're not doing silly interviews like this and you have time off, what do you like to do?
oh gosh, I love cooking. That's what I was getting dinner and everything together right before I hopped on with you. I love to cook. I live in the country, so I love the outdoors. I have a nice property where we can we're able to hike, and I love hunting and fishing and camping and all of those things when I have some time off. So,
And this journey, this career, your life up to this point, is there any one part of it that amazes you, shocks you, surprises you? You did it, you
absolutely.
survived.
Yeah. Honestly, it's humbling. But the support, the outpouring of support. I did not know what to expect when everything hit the media, and I prepared for the absolute worst, right? And fortunately, there really wasn't. I mean, obviously um, there has been some adversity, there has been
Right,
some
of course.
contention, and it's expected. But overall, that is one thing that has amazed me is the overall support from my community, from across the United States. It's unbelievable.
Your friends, your family, everybody knows what you're doing. Everybody's cool. I mean, did the media put that out for you? I guess if that's the right way to say that.
Yes, sir. I mean, they certainly put it out for everybody. But I mean, everyone knows. Everyone knows. There are no questions, and I think for me, it's been a big relief that I don't have to hide. When I was in the lifestyle with my husband, no one knew. We wouldn't even often associate with folks in our own state because I wanted that anonymity. And we would go
Right.
out of state and whatever and visit with folks. But now I have no reason to hide anything, and I don't. It's kind of a relief, actually.
And business-wise, do you want to go behind the camera? I know you mentioned you wanted to help other people. Do you want to be a
I do want
director,
to
or do you
help.
like to perform as long as you can?
I would love to continue performing as long as I can. I don't know about directing. I haven't thought of that. I don't have that artistic eye that say my husband does. He would be an incredible director producer, technical, very technical. But for me, I think a guide, a mentor, something potentially administrative in the industry is what I would seek out eventually. As I'm not naive to the fact that beauty fades, and I'm not going to be able to continue with this. And the women who are out there who are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 180-year-old I met still kicking and doing this, they're amazing. They're incredible women. But I don't know where I'll be at that point, you know? So I want a contingency plan. And I have life skills, fortunately, that I've developed over the last 21 years. And I can coordinate. I'm great with schedules. I'm good with managing others. You know, there are a lot of things that I think would roll over to assist folks in the industry.
And from what little I've learned about you in the last half hour, you seem to have a very good work ethic. Does that
Well,
come from your parents? Does that come from something else?
I think uh, it may potentially have come from my parents. I mean, it was few and far between that they took a day off. I mean, I think generational. My parents, my grandparents, they were all very good examples of, you know what, and when I was young, I mean, it was tough. You were told to do something, you get it done, and it's not time to mess around. You certainly don't talk back. You know, it was very strict, and I think that that was really ingrained in me. I cannot stand to be late. I cannot stand to be on time. I must be early. You know, that's
Right.
and I can see that that was probably in my upbringing, and I'm I just yeah, I think that it was probably just ingrained from what I had seen and what I'd known and what I had been conditioned to do. So,
And what are your social media handles?
so for X, it's capital L lady underscore capital L LorReign. So for my link tree, it is Lady LorReign 0101. And that will lead everyone directly to my, that'll lead everyone directly to all of my socials. Um, I'm currently on Sex Panther, which I love. I love Sex Panther. And people that can just, you know, they have the opportunity to just talk. We can video, I can open calls or videos, and that's amazing. I do have Cameo as well, and I up until Father's Day, I was getting a Cameo request probably 2 or 3 times a day. And then it has just kind of dwindled since then, which is fine. But I think a lot of people, with what I do in the industry, they're not wanting safe for work because I keep everything there very safe for work. And
Right.
um, yeah, but I do have the other media outlets where I can visit with folks, and it's maybe not as safe for work.
And your ex, do your fans have a lot of input into your videos when you make stuff? Like if I said, "Oh, you have nice boobs. I'd like to see another video of your boobs."
Mm-hmm.
Would you think about that and maybe create a video like that?
Yes, I definitely would. Yeah, I do get a lot of requests like that. They like a lot of photos. You know, they'll want to see photos, and but yeah, I do appreciate the input. I like the ideas, that creative niche that they have, or they can help me with. I'm again, this whole social media content creation stuff for me is brand new. I'm finally feeling comfortable talking when I'm being recorded or being, you know, when it's on camera. I know that we all went through kind of an interesting time during COVID when we went remote for everything.
Right.
And for me, it was so weird. I would watch my mouth on the screen to see, like, it was just so strange. And I am just now getting to the point where I'm a little more comfortable with it.
And you do a lot of collaborations?
I don't think I know folks who collab a lot, and I don't think that I have collabed a great deal. Probably for 40 or 50 scenes in the last 7 months, so it's not too much, but
Well, when you
I do.
I'm
Mhm.
sorry to interrupt you. When you collab, do you how do you determine who you collab with? Is it done by the person's number of followers? Is it somebody you liked? I don't know, somebody you've seen a scene and you thought it was hot and you'd like to work with that person, or how does that process work for you?
So for me, initially, it was only the talent that I had worked with from a mainstream shoot or I had met from an individual who had vetted them because I was, again, still so new and I wanted to ensure that I had quality individuals to work with and they would be professional. So now it has become word of mouth and ultimately it is kind of a network. Folks that I have worked with say this person is incredible to work with, this person's super professional to work with. And that's more or less how I have chosen the individuals that I collab with. That's a great thing because I get a lot of questions from fans whether or not I will work with them and collab with them. And I tell them the same thing that I told you. It's right now, it's still so new to me. I'm not doing fan meets or collabs with fans because I want to say you have to be tested and you have to know
All
the
right.
paperwork and I want it to remain professional.
The other weird thing is you'll make an appearance, let's say in AVN,
Uh-huh.
and somebody will walk up to you and say, I'm Joe. I live in Iowa. I have an OnlyFans account, so we should collab.
Okay. And
And you could be like, oh, how many followers or whatever do you have? Well, I have four.
right.
And you want to find a polite way to say, dude, like, you don't want to say no, but you kind of like, maybe later.
Well, and I've had that. I started out on a couple of the it's actually adult um like adult job seek sites, you know? And I've had people who are like, all right, well, I'll pay for your airfare, I'll pay for your lodging. I want you to come out here. We'll shoot this, and this. You know, they give you the nature of
Yeah,
the shoot. And, you know, they're like, well, what are your rates? And I say, okay, well, where do you distribute? Oh, well, this will be my first time, but I plan on starting. And I'm like, no, I'm not
right,
comfortable with that.
right,
Or I have folks ask me, how do I get in the industry? Come help me get in the industry. And for me, I'm like, that's a very personal decision. And I think
right,
that's something you should probably really consider further. And I'm not that one.
right.
I'm still so new in it myself.
How did you come up with your stage name?
That actually, we came up with my stage name years ago. I did some, um, I dabbled and it was fun in as a dominatrix. I'm just gonna say it. And that's where the lady came from. I'm not big on goddess and mistress. And I thought lady was a more regal way to present myself. And so I chose Lady LorReign. And Reign, and that's the reason LorReign is spelled the way it is. It's the reign of LorReign.
Anything you want to say to all of your fans?
And to tell them, thank you so much. Thank you for your continued support through this weird learning process for me. I know sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. I don't know what I'm doing, but you guys have been an amazing guide, and I couldn't thank you more for all of your support and everything. It's been humbling, shocking. I mean, I can't even explain it.